Our headlines today. President Trump is dealt a major blow to his plans to impose tariffs on all goods entering the United States.
Yes, a US court rules the president exceeded his authority. I'll be looking at what happens next and the reaction of the financial markets.
Elon Musk quits his role in President Trump's administration. He'd been leading a drive to cut costs for the US government.
Simmering anger over poor living conditions in social housing leads to a five-fold increase in complaints since 2020.
Good morning in sport. Chelsea champions of the UEFA Conference League. And it means they're the first club to have won all four European trophies after thrashing Real Betis in the final in Poland.
And we'll be finding out why, for the first time in over a decade, there's hope the Golden Eagles could be back nesting in England. Now, a teenager from Hull is about to become the youngest person to run the entire length of the UK.
We'll introduce you to 17-year-old Marcus Skeet, known as the Hull Boy because of his love of Hull City Football Club. He often posts on social media about his mental health, and he's been raising money for the charity Mind. He began the 840-mile journey from Land's End to John O'Groats in April. He's hoping to cross the finish line today. He says not seeing anyone for hours on end has been the toughest part of the challenge.
It does get tough. I won't lie, it is very lonely out there some days, but I know that it's not going to last forever, and I'm just so grateful to still be here and to still be going. And you never know what can happen in life. It's a very short life, so live it to the best and, yeah, do what you can. Sometimes you have to do things that other people don't, because why not? It's fun.
Well, we wish him well for the very last bit of the journey. Should be over today. Let's have a look at the papers for you today. Starting with The Guardian. Says anger over poor housing could spark social tension, according to the UK's housing ombudsman. We'll have more on that story throughout the morning this morning. The Watchdog says there's been a 474% increase in complaints about substandard living conditions. That's since 2019.
Doctor strikes dominate the Times' front page. Physicians have been told industrial action will harm efforts to heal the NHS. The Health Secretary says he will not cave in to demands for a 29% pay increase for resident doctors. And the Telegraph reports that the Prime Minister will accuse Nigel Farage of fantasy economics in a speech today. We were hearing from our correspondent Joe Pike earlier regarding this. The paper says Sir Keir Starmer will link the Reform UK leader's approach to public finances with that of former Prime Minister Liz Truss. What are you seeing?
Well, just language matters, doesn't it? And Susie Dent, of course, from Countdown's Dictionary Corner, is
I picked the same story.
Is looking at words that we've traditionally sort of said differently.
So, if someone is full of mischief, what do you say they are?
They're mischievous.
Yes, mischievous. But have you noticed that people have been saying mischievous?
Well, I haven't really, but that's what's claimed.
Right. Oh, drives me bonkers.
People saying mischievous.
Yeah, there's no I in it.
Okay.
And lots of people, it also drives lots of people bonkers. It drives lovely Frank Cottrell-Boyce, Children's Laureate, who we had on the sofa just last week, drives him bonkers. He shared a social media lamenting it. Richard Dawkins, the biologist, says mischievous has no third eye. Susie Dent's been talking about this, hasn't she?
Yeah. I'm just trying to work...
She says it's OK, though, isn't it?
I don't think I know anyone who says mischievous.
Don't get to know anyone who does.
There are other words that people say differently. January, next month.
February.
What did you say?
February. So I don't
Are you saying February?
No, I don't say it correctly because it's spelt February, isn't it?
Yes.
I say February.
Yes, that's...
I don't say the R.
That is apparently the common mistake.
And it's a mistake, is it?
Yeah, because it's not a Y,
it's acceptable,
is it? February.
Though, is it? It's acceptable. Like mischievous is acceptable. What do you say?
February. February. I say it like that.
Do you know the reason the whole mischievous thing is? Because we don't have many words with just us at the end. It's all eous at the end, like devious.
Yes.
So because of that,
devious.
people are just adding the I in naturally. But Susie Dent says it's OK, so it's fine.
All right, then. I have to make sure.
Do you know,
it right.
Susie Dent, can you imagine? I do text Susie. She texted me just the other day. But she says she's got this lovely, lovely builder who once said that he couldn't bring himself to text her because he was so worried that he'd put, like, semicolons in the wrong place and everything. And she'd be examining his text messages. There are certain people you text more carefully than others.
Yeah, always be careful. We're going to look back a bit now. The television channel Talking Pictures shows film and TV from before the 1970s, and this year has turned 10 years old.
It was created by father and daughter team, Noel and Sarah, born out of what was called a love for what some people call the golden age of cinema.
Soaring complaints about substandard living conditions in social housing in England, including asbestos, leaks, damp and mould. And helping children hit the target in their maths, how schools are using darts to teach numeracy.
And an unusual tale, the love triangle of 3 ospreys in the Scottish borders. Why is a senior Conservative MP filming himself challenging alleged fare dodgers on the tube in East London? Plus, what to do if you see someone being harassed. Staff in London's parks get training on how to tackle threatening behaviour. And making cycling accessible for all. The charity providing adaptive bikes for those with disabilities. And the Met Police says it seized more than £250,000 in cash, hundreds of mobile phones and bank cards as part of a crackdown on courier fraud. Officers stopped and searched cars where they found the evidence. 18 people were arrested. Hammersmith and Fulham Council has been reprimanded after personal details of more than 6,500 people were left online for almost 2 years. The data, which included sensitive information about children, was accidentally published following a Freedom of Information request. The council spokesperson said the error was fixed as soon as it was notified and insisted none of the information was inappropriately used. And Southend United fans have been warned not to buy tickets for the National League playoff final at Wembley from individual sellers in case they get scammed. One seller offered tickets on X but made no further contact once the money was handed over. Only 17,500 tickets per club are available on Sunday.
Staff in London's parks are being trained in what to do if they see women being harassed. People can sign up to be what's known as active bystanders to find out how to spot risks and intervene safely if they see threatening behaviour. It comes as research suggests 1 in 6 women feel unsafe in parks during daylight, a rate 3 times higher than men.
Effectively, we want to build a community of active bystanders for parks, so there's greater care and connection with these spaces, but ultimately that people feel more confident and more empowered to use the techniques to intervene when they see harassment happens.
With 3 days to go until the ban on disposable vapes, there's a warning to people over switching to reusable ones. Essex Fire and Rescue Service said it's seen a rise in fires associated with them. They say they're entirely preventable and are often caused by using the wrong charger or batteries and when devices are left charging unattended. Hammersmith and Fulham Council has been reprimanded after personal details of more than 6,500 people, including sensitive data about children, were left online for almost 2 years. It accidentally published the data when responding to a Freedom of Information request in 2021. A council spokesperson said the error was fixed as soon as they were notified and insisted none of the information was inappropriately accessed or used. A petition's been started in Croydon over plans to axe the last lollipop patrols by the end of the year. The cut affects 6 schools across the borough. Patrols have been reduced by more than half over the last decade. The council said the decision followed a review and road safety officers will continue to work with schools while reminding drivers to stick to speed limits.
Why is a senior Conservative MP filming himself challenging alleged fare dodgers on the tube in East London? Now, would you attempt to stop someone who was trying to get away without paying for their tube ticket? The Shadow Justice Secretary, Robert Jenrick, has been taking justice into his own hands, confronting alleged fare dodgers on the London Underground and filming the whole thing. It's caused quite a stir on social media, and our political editor, Carl Mercer, has been looking at what's been going on. First of all, Carl, the obvious question is why, I suppose?
You mentioned it there in the link, didn't you? To cause quite a stir on social media, I think, and to raise the profile of Robert Jenrick, and some would say maybe further his ambitions for the Tory leadership. He's not averse to doing videos like this going on social media, and in this one he went down to Stratford station and, as you say, was filming people and going up to them after seeing them, trying to avoid the fares. Let's have a look at it and what he had to say about it.
Excuse me, do you think it's all right not to pay? Seriously, why do you go back through the barrier and pay? Do you want to go back and pay like everybody else? Do you think it's all right not to pay? Nearly 1 in 25 people using London's public transport aren't paying for it. So there's 8 officers down there, but 1 minute away, that gate's wide open.
We need the authorities to actually understand that these things are not small rule breaks. They're actually things that create a sense of impunity, which makes everyone else feel less safe and drags the whole of society down. And so I want TfL in this instance, but I want the police, local councils, everybody to really step up.
What kind of responses have there been to this today then, Carl?
It depends which side of the political divide you are on. On the left, they're saying it's a bit like an Alan Partridge video. And on the right, there's a lot of support for him saying, look, he's going out there expressing normal people's annoyance and asking Sadiq Khan, Transport for London, to step up. But it is worth having a quick look at some of the facts. He is actually right. It's 3.4% of London's fares are dodged. It costs Transport for London something like £130 million a year. TfL saying today to us, look, we are trying to tackle it. We've got 500 enforcement officers on it. We're going to halve that number in the next couple of years. And the final word goes to the local MP in Stratford, Uma Kamaran, who said maybe Mr Jenrick, instead of doing videos, should look at the Conservatives' record on funding London's police and Transport for London when they were in power and when Mr Jenrick was part of that government.
Carl, thanks very much indeed.